With Fubara's latest defection, the ruling APC has full control of the entire South-South region. Now, in this strategic move for the governor, or do you think it's actually a desperate move for political survival? Joining us to have this conversation, we do have later on, hopefully he's able to connect, Commissioner for Environment in River State, Honorable Tambari Sydney Gbara. Hopefully we'll connect with him. But we do have human rights activist Ann-Kio Briggs, and who joins us this morning. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're expecting a few more guests to join us, because this is not just a conversation that one should have in closed doors. This is a conversation we should have in full glare, in the open. First of all, I want to say thank you for buying our time to speak with us this morning. I do recall a few months back in River State where New Central had a town hall meeting on this particular issue. But it seems like everything that was done for the progress and for the good of the people of River State. But how do you feel seeing this latest development where the governor has decided to say, on your mandate, he will stand moving to the APC, citing that the APC was there to support him, whereas the PDP wasn't there at all to protect him?
Absolutely. Your last few words covers it all. Since this crisis, this madness, this political madness started in River State as far back as 2023, I said right from the beginning that the PDP will be held responsible for what will happen in River State as a political party. I also cautioned, because I had analyzed, though I'm not a politician, and I don't want to be, but I will have my say, because politics is what determines whether we're moving backwards or forwards in Nigeria, sadly. I did say at the time that I was certain the aim of the president, and I have taken time to look at the background, the political background, and how the president goes about achieving things, no matter what political party he is in, and what he has achieved in the Niger Delta by making sure that literally every single state in River State is now an APC state, which was the reverse from 1999 till President Bola Tinubu became the president. I said at that time that that was his aim, that his priority was to take over the oil producing states in the Niger Delta region, that his aim was to take control of the states that were leading into the Gulf of Guinea. The Gulf of Guinea is a very strategic place, because the Americans, the Europeans, the Arabs, in terms of resources, not religion, in terms of resources, are interested in those areas, the Gulf of Guinea, because it's a route. I said all these things about what was going on, and that the PDP was docile. The PDP assumed, and I said at that time that they should not take it for granted that in another election that the PDP, will win election 1 or 2 or all the elections in the Niger Delta region. And then the issue with Governor Siminalayi Fubara developed with Nyesom Wike, who claims that he single-handedly made him the governor of River State. Now, whether this is an agreement between the president, Nyesom Wike, and the governor, I don't know. But it seems to me, knowing my state and knowing the parties involved, that is the governor and the former governor, and knowing the people of River State and the players in politics in River State, I doubt very much that if this is a collective decision that involves the governor of River State. But as I've always said, the politics of Rivers State is a politics of let us wait and see. Because now you see a situation where it seems like Governor Siminalayi Fubara is completely going in one direction. And that direction involves the president. And we're also seeing a play out to see that is indicating that the former governor of Rivers State, the FCT minister, is really out of the circle of what's going on in Rivers State. Now, whether he has achieved in dividing the House, the State Assembly, which he seemed to have been in control of, or if this is all a political game and strategy, we will just have to wait and see. But Fubara, as I have said, is not a fool. I do not. And all of these people going ahead calling him names, it's very, I mean, if I were him, I would be very offended. You can't just continue to be calling a man a fool, a mumu, just because he has decided to make a decision. That decision he has made, it's the people of Rivers State that will decide in the future, not today, whether it is the right decision for him to make, either for himself and collectively for the people of Rivers State. But I assure you that if this decision he has made is not in the interest of the people of Rivers State, the people of Rivers State will speak. I will be one of those people that will speak, not because I'm a politician, but because I have a right to speak what politicians do that I don't like, in my favor or against the aspirations of the people of Rivers State. But am I surprised that he has crossed over? Why should I be surprised? Is there a state right now in Nigeria that will not end up in the APC political party? I doubt it. Majority of the states in Nigeria today that did not win election on the APC have crossed over to the APC. Therefore, the APC has strategically achieved what Bola Tinubu set out to achieve, which is to turn Nigeria into one political party country. Now, whether that is in the interest of the Nigeria as we know it today, or it is in the interest of a handful of people, we will also have to wait and see. I do not think that this is good. I am worried that this is dangerous.
Okay, beyond the worry that you've expressed, I know that from all indications, you also blame President Bola Tinubu, and you sound like Governor Siminalayi Fubara's hands were tied, and he had no choice to move to the party, to the APC. But what are the elders, the leaders, the traditional rulers of Rivers State saying in this moment? Because I recall when this issue was, when we're in the thick of the conflict that was between Governor Sim Fubara and former Governor Nyesom Wike, he had a lot of support. There were people who were rallying behind him, even in Rivers State. Does he still have that level of support now that he's moved to Rivers State? And are there concerns that right now it would feel like he no longer has control of the state as a governor should typically be expected to have?
Again, taking it from my perspective as a Rivers daughter and as someone who has a voice to express, the traditional, the leaders, let me start with the elders and leaders forum, the one that I actually do belong to. We have not had a meeting on this particular issue. We have had speculations, we have had unofficial discussion on whether Siminalayi Fubara will move to APC or he will not move to APC. Now, let me just give you a highlight. As we speak of yesterday, I don't know whether this morning or last night, the governor has moved into the government house. But I want to let you know that from the moment of the time he left government house on the 18th of March, and when he was recalled on the 18th of September, the governor is not living in the in Government House. He is living in his personal house. Now, whether he has moved, I don't know. For me, that is very significant. Significant in the sense that there's nothing wrong with him living in his house if that's what he wants to do. But there is something that makes me to think that there is something I need to analyze and come to a conclusion on as to why he is living in his home. But I did also say when he was coming back that if I were him, I will not move into Government House. I said that even before he came back and took the position. Now, going back to the traditional rulers or the leaders of River State or the PDP leaders, the truth of the matter is that the idea that traditional rulers somehow have gotten themselves involved in the politics, the way that traditional rulers have gotten themselves involved in politics by giving away their traditional rights as leaders in their communities, for me, is worrisome. Because I grew up in my community, and I grew up under this tutelage, if you like, of what traditional rulers are supposed to do in the communities, what head of work in new houses in our instances, in the riverine people's instances, we have walk in new houses. So now the leaders of those walk in new houses have quite a say. Now, politics have eroded into those rights, and that is worrisome. But then that's up to the traditional rulers to decide whether they recognize from the view of the people that what they are doing with politicians is worrisome, and that it may not end up well in the interests of the people. But individually, of course, there are traditional rulers that are with Siminalayi Fubara. There are individuals that are with Siminalayi Fubara. I am one of those people that believe that since Siminalayi Fubara is the governor of River State, and that, in my opinion, I believe that he was doing a good job until all of this crisis started. To say that he had an agreement to do this or to do that is unacceptable. You cannot have an agreement with someone who is not a player anymore in the politics of River State. And that agreement now involves, if you like, making decisions that you are supposed to make, somebody else guiding you and making day-to-day decisions of how River State is going to run and who is controlling the structure. The political structure is the structure of the people, because it's the people. Well, it doesn't matter the political party you belong to or whether you don't belong to a political party. You are the structure because you're the one that go out to vote. But now political structures have become structures of individuals. Even the president of Nigeria, he's come this far by controlling from when he became governor of Lagos State, by controlling the political structure in Lagos State, and then he eventually, slowly and quietly, controlled the political structure in the South, in the Southwest. And you can see by what's happening, the hold he has, even on the Southwest, even in the Southeast now, where this is going to lead us, because he's not controlling the political structure of the North. And the political structure of the North is of 19 states as of now, and 3 geopolitical zones. And 19 states is more than 17, or is more than 17 states. So this is going to be interesting moving into 2026, which is when politicking really starts and development take a back seat. And we now have a situation where everybody is trying to tell the president, I am going to deliver you. And the only way you can deliver the president in any state without the people being involved in the process is that you will rig that election. And we're used to elections being rigged in Nigeria. So again, that type of situation will not surprise me. But when it comes to Rivers State, these are very, very interesting times. Siminalayi Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, whom I support till now because I still believe he's my governor and I have decided to support him. But I assure you, and he knows, that if I feel for 1 second that what is going on, whether his decision or not, is not in the interest of our people, I will also say so. If I have an opportunity to say it personally, I will. But most times I say it publicly. It doesn't matter whether I say it privately or not. I will say it publicly. My grandmother used to say, what you will not say to somebody in their front, don't say it behind them in their back. So whatever I will say to anybody, I will be ready to say it publicly. And that's what I have said this morning.
Thank you so much for your submission. Ma'am, we would like to bring in our second guest into the conversation, the Honorable Commissioner of Environment in Rivers State, Honorable Tambari Sydney Gbara. A warm welcome to you, Honorable, and thanks for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. It's quite a different morning to wake up to in Rivers State. For the last 26 years, the PDP has consistently held sway. Yesterday, your principal decided to switch camps and join the ruling All Progressive Congress. Could you tell us the mood in the state with the cabinet, and also what informed Governor Siminalayi Fubara's decision?
For having me. Well, the mood in the States is very normal, and I can tell you that a lot of Rivers people are happy, in a good mood, because the governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, right from his section in office as when he took over, has always stood firm with the people. His actions, his programs, his projects and everything has always been pointing to protecting the interests of the people, those that are downtrodden, those who we see as the organic supporters at the grassroots. And we equally are aware of the turn of events within this period and how he has stood, how he has fought in ensuring that he protects the interests of the people. And so the people have that belief in him, that whatever decision, whatever action that he takes at any point in time is in good faith and in the interests of Rivers State.
All right. The conversations are also on to the fact that this move was, first of all, preceded by what we saw at the National Assembly as well, where 17 members had declared that they are moving away from the PDP to the APC. The Speaker also made that statement, Mr. Mawule, and then others followed. This is also quite different from the fact that they had initially said they were moving before the back and forth. With these political movements here and there and so on, do you think, Mr. Tambari, that Rivers State has lost a lot of time from what they could have enjoyed in governance, and now they've used that time for politics and so on and so forth, and then now is the time for them to actually enjoy it, but here they are again, they are moving from one political party to another. Do you think Rivers State is really enjoying this time as mentioned? But sadly, I think we've lost connection with Mr. Tambari. But let's take a look at the video. Let's take a look at the video from yesterday's gathering, and then we'll come back and see if we can establish connection. If not, I will move on to our guest who's available. We do have Tambari who's back again. Can you hear us, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. I'm saying time has been spent. Do you think River State has benefited, if at all, from the current governor? Because it seems there's been politics all through. Almost 3 years gone.
Yes, before I answer your question, before I forget, let me have special greetings to our big auntie in the studio, Mama Ann-Kio Briggs, that has always stood with us and has always supported us. Thank you very much, Mommy. Well, coming to your question, we all know that River State has been set aback for so many years, most especially with the declaration of the state of emergency. But you can equally recall that before the state of emergency was declared, the governor was already on auto drive in the area of development and programs, people's oriented for that matter. Despite the distractions, despite the infighting, they tried everything that were going on. The governor were on very, very major projects that I would.
It seems your connection is not stable, and we're finding it very difficult to hear your points regarding that question. But permit me to move the question over to Ann-Kio Briggs, who's still here with us. So much time has gone. Do you think Rivers has benefited from the dividends of democracy?
Saw what happened to us in River State. It was painful, like the governor said, and the people of River State suffered for what they had nothing to do with, particularly the governor of River State. If you live in River State, you would know that the Governor Siminalayi Fubara, started off well in the interest of the people, and I still believe that that remains his strategy and that remains his focus. But sadly, 6 whole months was taken out. And it's not just 6 months, it's the value of the 6 months. And the value of the 6 months in terms of development of River State, it's not just 6 months, it's more like 5 years what was taken away from River State. And we also have this question that is still hanging over the head of the of IBAS, which is to say that how much money did you meet when you took over in River State on the 18th of March? And how much money did you leave? How much did you spend? Now we're hearing that he said he left 600 billion. That's arrant nonsense. 600 billion. Where did he get that 600 billion from that he's claiming that he left? And where did he leave it? And so now, but we have now a situation where he's making these claims and he's being pushed off somewhere to become an ambassador, as if he's going to be an ambassador for life if he's accepted by that country. But let's come back to River State. I want to make it very clear, as a Rivers daughter, that the people of River State, the majority of the people of River State, not 100%, nobody can claim support of 100%, but the majority of the people of River State, from the crisis till today, have thrown their weight behind Governor Siminalayi Fubara. And if that is the sort of reception the people have for the governor of River State, no matter how anybody wishes it, the people support the governor of River State. And we hope and believe that he will be able to continue. And like he said, the people that suffered with him, he suffered, we suffered in River State. And so if today he has decided, without, he has not told us why, but if he has decided, looking at how PDP played their card, and they played it badly, They should have come out immediately and covered him, supported him, and should have told the minister what to do, to leave the governor alone. But they didn't do that. That was their responsibility. It was not the responsibility alone of the governor to survive. It was the responsibility of the political party on whose platform he became governor to protect him, to make sure that he survived, to make sure that Rivers people were not pushed into this 6 months of unbelievable suffering. That if the governor today have decided with his fellow politicians that are working with him, that for now it is in the interest of him as a governor, the politicians of PDP that have gone with him, then that is what it is. And that's what we will have to work with and live with. Now, if you recall, we have 27 or so members in the State Assembly who we all saw openly cross over, standing on this same mandate that the governor has decided, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has decided that he is also going to stand. Now, I don't have to stand on a mandate to support anybody that I want to support. So it's not about the mantra, stand on your mandate. If your mandate is not good, I'm not going to stand on it. But it is up to the people of Rivers State. These people crossed over and then went to court to prove that they didn't cross over. And the court can go to APC. And guess what? Less than 2 months or 3 months later, 2 months, they've crossed 2 times. They left, then they came back to PDP. That's one vomit. And then they left the PDP again, and they've gone back to APC. That's the second vomit. Now, all of this just has to stop so that governance can go on in Rivers State. Siminalayi Fubara is not a fool. Siminalayi Fubara is not a Mumu governor. He is a human being. He is a man of Rivers State that the majority of Rivers people are standing with. The organic support for this young man is unbelievable. You need to come to Rivers State. I walked kilometers with groups of women, thousands of women that were protesting against what was happening against the state through the declaration of the state of emergency. And so if you see that type of support, you cannot say that this man does not have the support of his people. I hope and I pray for him that moving forward, that he is comfortable in APC to the extent that he will now be able to govern Rivers State the way that we want him to govern Rivers State, and that the resources of Rivers State, whatever it comes to at the end of every month, will go into developing the people of Rivers State and the state itself, and not into any political party elections come 2027. Because the only election that Rivers people's money should be spent in is the election that matters to the people of Rivers State, which is the election of electing a governor, electing representatives, electing our people into positions that they will use to make sure that Rivers State develops and the people of Rivers State are developed, and that we have all the necessities, like you said, all the dividends of democracy. Looking at the money that is coming from Rivers State through our resources, and our eyes are going to be quite wide open. My eyes are going to be quite wide open to see what is happening. If President Tinubu, moving forward, is going to really do what is right in Rivers State, because he may have think or thought that he was doing what was right in Rivers State. Well, it's come and gone. Let us hope that truly he's going to do what is right in Rivers State. If that be the case, I have no doubt that Rivers people will also do what is right for him, because it is in their interest. But for now, Rivers State is calm, politicians are calm, the people of Rivers State have accepted that the governor has moved into the APC party. It was expected, bars and in churches and in places like that, people were discussing it. Will the governor move? Will the governor not move? Well, as of yesterday, we have seen and heard that the governor has left the PDP party because the PDP just did not do justice to the people of Rivers State and to the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara.
So let's bring in Mr. Tambari into the conversation. So are we now agreeing completely that PDP has totally lost influence in Rivers State? And the concern is how in the South we've seen a huge number of defections to the APC. And for whatever reason we might give, reason can be that we want to, like we've heard some governors say that they're trying to align with the center. In this case, he didn't get the support of the People's Democratic Party. But then there's also the criticism of Nigeria becoming or falling into the trap of becoming a one-party state with all the defections. So are we not in some measure now making excuses for something that we have also criticized? Mr. Tambari, I think your audio is muted. Okay, yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, as you can see, this is in politics. There is no permanent friend, no permanent enemy, but permanent interest. And like I said earlier, that the governor has always given us the disposition of standing on the interests of the people of Rivers State. You can see that if you're in a political party, just like our big mommy has said, you need some level of protection, when the needs arises. But at the time of the crisis, our governor was virtually standing alone. In fact, we were standing alone. We fought on our own. We didn't have any support, nobody to run to except God. But at this point in time, now our leader has decided and he's called on. You can see in that video, he was not alone. There are a lot of people, a lot of us were there. We had an intensive engagement before that decision was taken. He didn't just call us to say, I'm defecting to the APC. He called us and we had an extensive discussion, engagement that took hours before that decision was reached, and then the announcement came. It clearly shows and indicates that we have moved on from PDP to APC, saying that we did not have any future in PDP. And now we are seeking our new future for Rivers people, for our governor to be able to concentrate and deliver the dividends of democracy. That is what the governor and what Rivers people desire and deserve. And we hope that this we are going to get in the APC, working directly with Mr. President. Because you can see that when this crisis started, Mr. President, yes, had intervened one time or the other as a third party, or like as a father who is presiding over 36 states and see that there are crises in some states and wants to step in. But right now, if he's coming in as a father talking to his own children that belong to same family. And so therefore, we believe that the approach and what we come out of will be different from the way it was before. And so therefore, like I said, and I was going to continue to reiterate, this is all to ensure that Rivers State gets that dividends of democracy, that good governance that the governor desires to give to the people. He needs the concentration. We don't need any distraction whatsoever. I don't want to go back to reiterate things that has happened before, because it will amaze you that immediately, as soon as the emergency rule was lifted by the president, we saw a sitting of the assembly making demands from the governor, even when he was not yet in the country, to come and take over. So you can see that the distraction started from the very day that the president lifted the state of emergency. And this is not good for our politics. This is not good for our democracy. This is not good for our people. We have lost so much. Just like our mom is enumerated, we have lost so much and we need to move on. We need to move forward. And so the governor needs that concentration. He needs to relax and deal with the situation in Rivers State and take care of things. I haven't lost 6 months. Now, in 2 months, he's still putting things in place to ensure that he kickstarts. And there is no way he can move on with these distractions here and there. We are having meetings. In fact, the governor has ceded nearly everything in the state just for peace to reign. He has given out the 23 local government, all the juicy board, everything he has given. He has surrendered everything just for peace to reign. And yet, we still have these pockets of, distractions here, agreement today, not agree tomorrow. We see all manner of worrisome, interactions and communication going on in the states. And so if this is the solution, if this is the window with which Rivers people can enjoy at least this remaining tenure of the governor, then so be it. We have our support fully with our full chest to give him that support. When you try one thing and it doesn't work, try the other one. That is what the governor is doing. And he has explained to us explicitly that we understand with him. And we are fully and committed to be with him. And then we equally look forward to Mr. President, giving us that fatherly cover and that fatherly advice and guidance to ensure that Rivers people enjoy the dividends of democracy. Whatever thing that will cause any misgiving, any crisis, should be able to be addressed and taken care of in-house, and not us continue washing our dirty linen in the public.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gbara. We'll go on a quick break. We still have quite a few things to unpack on this issue of the governor's defection, the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to the ruling APC. Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. You're welcome back to Breakfast Central, and there you have it, members of the Rivers State Executive singing the President's campaign anthem, "On Your Mandate You Shall Stand." And in case you're wondering what context was that video done in, after 26 years of holding sway as the dominant party in Rivers State yesterday, Governor Siminalayi Fubara decided to jump ship and join the ruling All Progressive Congress. Join us for this discussion this morning. We have the Honorable Commissioner for Environment in Rivers State, Honorable Tambari Gbara. We also have human rights activist, Madam Ann-Kio Briggs, with us. Now, back to you, Madam Ann-Kio Briggs. It's been quite an interesting discussion that we've had this morning. We talked about time lost, the 6 months, the infighting between the State House of Assembly and the governor, and also the unfortunate suspension and emergency rule. But if you look at Rivers State today, following the defection, everything seems to be calm. There are little or no distractions. But next year is the penultimate year to a general election, and Governor Siminalayi Fubara will be up for re-election in 2027. Quite a number of people might see it as another level of distraction. If you could advise Mr. Governor, what would you tell him as we move forward? What are your expectations now that everything seems to be all well and good in your state?
It's the expectation that I would stay with, because I'm not to advise the governor publicly, because I'm not one of his advisors. I mean, I can have a discussion with him privately, but I can't advise him publicly, but I can have an opinion. There are expectations of Rivers people, rightful expectations. And I am of the conviction up till now that he intends to provide as much as he can those expectations that people have to receive from him as the governor, as is their right to receive the dividends of democracy, which includes all the things that
Hello, Madam Briggs, are you still with us? We seem to be having some connection issues.
For the people of
Okay.
Rivers State. The fact that we see the supporters, the people who have been with the governor throughout all of these things, it's not a surprise to me. But again, I say that we should allow, that is meaning that now that the 17 people have crossed over to APC, I mean to APC, and the governor also is now in APC. He's moved into APC with people who very clearly are not his friends. So how that plays out and is handled is also something that is of concern to me. So my expectations are that the governor is going to be able to also maneuver within the waters of APC. Politics in Nigeria is infested with sharks, and everybody playing what is in their own interest. And I hope that the governor will be able to maneuver within where he has gone into, because if you recall, immediately it was left, one of the first things that the House did was literally attack the governor by the way they spoke to the governor. It was done literally by threat. Do like this, or we would do like this. Do like this, or we would do like this. And then we had a week ago, we had the issue of a dilapidated educational system. Now that's not very true. Our educational system has been in problem for a very long time. I think the last person that did anything about changing rules or leaking rules and providing means of education, not all of the time and not all the schools, was the former governor of Rivers State, and so if you're going to discuss and blame the governor for the education system, that's not right. And so to see that, as I said, when they claimed that there was peace, that this peace that they said between the governor and the former governor when they came out of the villa with the president on that day, saying that there is peace now, we have agreed to work together, there is peace. I remember saying when I was asked that just because they said that there is peace does not mean that there is peace. And that actually played. So I'm hoping, therefore, I'm expecting that as he is now in the APC, that the president who's made sure that he has moved into APC and the APC system that have accepted him will now realize that he is in APC.
All right, network issues there once again, but it's been very, very lengthy a conversation that we've had concerning the recent movement of the Rivers State governor moving from PDP all the way to APC. A very interesting conversation, guys. I want to know if we still have Honorable there with us. Is he still there? Okay. Let's take your final thoughts on this as we wrap up. I want to wrap up this conversation very quickly. Now that the Rivers State governor has moved to the APC. Does this mean there will be a lot of persons in Rivers State political space and also in the cabinet move to the APC as well? Or is it still going to be a case where some will move and majority will remain because, in quotes, the political godfather, the FCT minister, hasn't moved yet?
Yeah, well, we all know that the crisis brought about a divide in the political family that we had earlier in Rivers State. We have those of us who believe in the governor and first. We have the governor who should be allowed to run the state as others have been, or the way it has been with other governors, to be in charge and use his tactics and whatever thing he wants to do to ensure that he delivers. There are some who felt contrary to that, and so you know that there is a clear divide in Rivers State. And the bill that was propagated, which we all hoped was going to be the political solution to the political crisis in Rivers State. Even when we saw that the alignment was dragging a little bit, we expected an improvement in the relationship, because all we are talking about is individuals. What you believe in and what I believe in, and how we can put this together in the interest of the state, surrendering our personal interests and putting the interests of the state forward first. So that is what we know has given, has sacrificed enough in line with what he said from the beginning, that nothing is too much for him to sacrifice for peace to come to Rivers State. And I believe that today both Rivers people and Nigerians will see that and agree with us that he is a man of his words. And before now, we have made our position clear that it's about His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara. Whichever color he turns into, we are with him and we will follow him. So now that he has decided to move into the APC, you see the mass movement of Rivers people that will follow him to APC because to believe in him. And like he said, the human mind, everybody is entitled to their own decision to say if they will follow him or not. Maybe those on the other side might decide to say at this point, okay, let us bury our hatchet, because what we are preaching is peace. We should bury our hatchets and present a common front for the interests of Rivers State. And that is what we stand for. So those who decide to have this ideology with us, they are welcome. It will be a good thing for us to see them. So we are all moving with the governor, all our supporters, everybody, we're all excited and we're waiting for the next directive from the governor on what to do to continue to show our organic support to the governor.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Tambari, for speaking with us. And we look forward to see what will happen in the few days to come, if there will be a complete political shift in Rivers State. You've mentioned that you stand with the governor, and that's good to know. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much.
Would also like to extend our thank you to Madam Ann-Kio Briggs for her time with us this morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.